open up to finally a medical student. That's such a... I'm gonna have to learn not to do it in a row. Hello, welcome back to the channel Asclepium. My name's Jade and I'm currently a final year medical student at the University of Cambridge. And today I have a video for you which is my 10 top tips for packing to go on placement. So at the University of Cambridge we do 3 years of preclinical medicine and 3 years of clinical medicine, and for this you will do a lot of placements out in the regional district general hospitals. So to put this in context, during my time at university I've been on placement in Ipswich, Bedford, Luton, Colchester and Peterborough, and I think that's it. And for these clinical placements I've been using public transport, so trains and buses and things like that to get my placements. So obviously if you're going to be driving to your placements it does make it a bit easier. It's obviously easier to carry your stuff. So I've got the list on my phone here. So the first tip that I've put is to pack light. Unless you're going to a placement at a rural GP, you're more than likely going to have shops nearby where if you have forgotten, say, shampoo or something like that, you can definitely go and buy it. So yeah, don't necessarily pack as if you're going camping for 8 weeks in the middle of nowhere. You know, you are going to be near some shops. It's actually really helpful when you go to a placement to have an idea as to where your local shop is. You can go as a group with other students who are on the placement and, you know, scout out the area, get some shopping. My second tip is for the luggage that you take your stuff in. So I would recommend taking either a big bag or a small suitcase with your stuff in that you're going to take for the overall placement, but within that packing another bag that you're going to use to transport your stuff back and forwards on weekends. For our placements we do, say for this week placement I'm on at the moment for 6 weeks, I have a room in Peterborough for 6 weeks, but then I do go back and forwards to Cambridge on weekends and when I'm not on shift. So it is really useful to have a smaller bag that I use for transporting the stuff that I do need with me all the time, things like skincare and things like that. The luggage that you're actually carrying stuff in is a big top tip. So my third tip is electricals and chargers. So make sure that you don't forget these things, because for us we go on placement generally Monday to Friday, so make sure you've got everything that you're going to need. Also for your room it might be handy to take an extension cable. There might only be 1 or 2 plugs, as I've had quite a few times. And another thing is that with your electricals, so things like your iPad and your laptop, if you do have them, it can be really helpful to have your textbooks downloaded there, so that way you can take that and maybe your notes if you use an app for that as well. You can take all of that without having to carry and lug around a load of big textbooks or folders and things, so that can be really helpful as well. Number 4 will be not to forget to take the stuff that you're actually going to need for the wards. So don't forget things like your lanyard, your stethoscope, your clothes. I know that when I first packed up on placement, I think I thought about everything else apart from the stuff I was actually going to need for the majority of the time. I did take stuff that obviously to wear for the wards, but for some reason it just wasn't very high on my agenda the first time I went to placement. So make sure that you've got that stuff that you're going to need. And maybe when you're going at the start of the placement, take enough that you're not going to have to take it forward, back and forwards every weekend, you know, because then you end up doing laundry all the time. And number 5 to go along with that is not to forget to take clothes that you're going to wear outside of placement. I know we're students and, you know, we do spend a lot of time studying, but you are going to need, you know, just clothes to wear when you're lounging around, things to go at the gym in. So don't forget things like that as well, otherwise you're going to spend your time either in formal wear or your pyjamas, and to be honest there needs to be an in-between. For number 6, essentials for the bathroom. In Peterborough I have an ensuite. This is the first time I've had that at my accommodation, and I think for the bathroom I would really recommend just investing in the little travel size things of body wash, shampoo, conditioner. Saves so much room when you're packing, or if you buy it here and you don't really go through like a normal size of those things, so it's really handy. You just get it for the placement. 9 times out of 10 you finish it by the time you leave, so it's a really handy size to have. Number 7 is kitchen stuff. So I've tended to just carry my own set of cutlery, so I'll just have 1 of each. I'll take a microwave dish that'll double as a bowl for things like cereal and soup, and I do try and meal prep when I can to take my meals with me for an evening, and this just saves time cooking when you're on placement. It means you can use all of your own stuff for cooking, because no one needs or wants to carry pots and pans and things like that. So I do tend to, like this week, I'll meal prep a couple of nights meals, and then I'll have to sort something for 1 or 2 nights, but that's so much better than having to cook every night that you're on placement. Number 8 is things to take for your room. So I have a list of essentials, so things like a jumper, so like this one that I'm wearing at the moment, my Peterhouse stash. Things like an eye mask that I need to help me sleep, because I really hate light disrupting me during sleeping. Fluffy socks in case it gets cold. And it's a little bit extra, but I did used to bring my own set of bedding when I went on placement, simply because I had a couple of bad experiences with the bedding that was provided, and also for pillows. And it's not something that people think of, and then when they come in your room on placement they're like, why do you have that? And then suddenly they think it's a brilliant idea. So if you are that way inclined, I do recommend, if you're taking a pillowcase and a duvet and maybe a bed sheet, it really doesn't take that much room in your packing. Number 9, this more applies for people that can drive to placement, but I know quite a lot of people that have a box of things, and this just stores everything that they use to take for placement. So they will end up having two of a lot of things, say like a toothbrush, their cutlery and their dishes and things, but it means that then when they do plan to go on placement, they can literally just pick up that box, they have all the stuff they need there, and they know what's in it essentially. So I think that would be really handy, and if I had, you know, driven to placements, I probably would have done that. And even if you're not driving, to be honest, you can still do that. You can say, you know, this is my pile of stuff that I just pick it up, and then I know I don't have to go and buy double before. Number 10, and I think this is the most important and probably the most useful thing that I've found as I've gotten older and got more used to placements, is to look on a map before you go. Have an idea as to where it is you're going to be on placement, you know, how you're going to get there, what's around. So especially for the hospital, in my GP, which was in Peterborough as well, I was staying somewhere separate to where the hospital was, so it was really handy to know what was around there, both when I was on placement and where I was staying on a night time, and just knowing where you're going to be able to, like, you know, go and get food from, and also knowing if you could maybe get food delivered. So I'm on a 6-week placement. I haven't done it this time, but in the past I have ordered NASA delivery at the start of the placement for things that I can just keep in the cupboard, and it means that you don't have to carry shopping back and forwards, and you're pretty much set. You just need to buy fresh stuff each week. Okay, so those are my 10 tips for how to prepare and what to do for placement, things that I've learned over the past 3 years, and I hope you find it helpful. If there is anything else that you've found helpful while you've been on placement, comment it down below, and if you have any suggestions, anything else you'd like to see from myself or Qubekani, do let us know, and we'll see you next time for another video.